Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejanavadhetamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punah. In Raja Yoga, there are so many limbs, 15 limbs, Tripanchangani. And those Tripanchangas are not, need not be mentioned, need not be remembered, but it is said here, Yamaha, Niyamaha, Mauna, Deshaha, Kalaha, Asanam, Mulabandhascha, Deha Samyamcha, Drikstitihi, Prana Sanyamanam Chaiva, Pratyaharascha, Dharana, Dhyanam, Samadhi. In this manner, we can say Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. And they're related words. This much you can understand. And all of them are explained in the light of Atma. All these various limbs have been, Raja Yoga limbs have been explained in the light of Vedanta, please. And now we have seen what is Ekanta. Ekanta is not a place. Adavante cha madhye cha jano yasmin na vidyate. The janaha means the people. People don't exist in you. You are not you are not qualified by the people. You perceive them. You are the basis of all the individualities and the dehas, and therefore you are the basis of all the thoughts also. Everybody's thoughts are in you. Everybody's individuality also. When you think, just as you are the source of your individuality, you are the source of all individualities also. You are just as you are the source of your thoughts and your body, you are the source of everybody's thoughts and everybody's body. And therefore, this is, and that means they don't qualify you. That means Ekanta is only your existence. Your Swarupa is Ekanta. And therefore, there is no use of looking for Ekanta in time and space. There is no place which is Ekanta. There is only Brahman which is Ekanta. Your Swarupa is Ekanta. Adavante cha madhye cha jano yasmin na vidite yenedam satatam vyaptam. And by which everything is pervaded. Everything is pervaded means it is present in everything. Everything is present, presupposing its presence alone, silent presence, every object is there. Like presupposing the presence of water is the wave, not presupposing the will of the water, presupposing the presence of water, please. Presupposing the presence of God is the whole universe, and therefore that is what is called Vyaptam, presupposing whose presence is everything. Yenedam samasthatam vyaptam sadesham sadesho vijana smrutaha, and that is called Ekanta. That kind of place is called Ekanta. Your own Swarupa is Ekanta, and therefore that is not a spatial. Your existence is not spatial. It's not time bound. It's not physical. Your existence is non-physical, and therefore understanding your existence is exactly Ekanta. Please, you are your Ekanta. You don't have to look for a place, even though it is said that Nirjana Pradesha is Ekantaha. But then where can you get this Nirjana Pradesha? Wherever you go, there are people in this world. And therefore, Nirjana Pradesha cannot be Ekanta. The real Ekanta is when you are fast asleep, that is Ekanta. That means your own Swarupa is Ekanta. When you are asleep, that is Ekanta, because your only Swarupam is there. In the deep sleep state, there is only Swarupa Avastha. The deep sleep state is only Swarupa Avastha. And therefore, even the dream is not Ekanta. Waking is not Ekanta. And the deep sleep state is indeed, there is Ekanta because you alone and there is nothing parallel to you. And because there is nothing parallel to you, and you alone are there, and therefore it is Ekanta. And therefore, Ekaeva Astu, and that is called Ekantaha. Ekantaha does not mean living in a place where there is no other person, because we don't come across such a person, such a place where there is no other person. You can't be alone. You can be alone only by Swarupa. You are alone by Swarupa. By your Swarupa, by your nature, you are alone there. There is nothing parallel to you. As awareness, you are alone there. As your Swarupa, you are alone there. And therefore, Adavanteja Madhyecha Jano Yasmin Vidyate Yenedam Satam Vyaptam Sadesho Vijana Smruta. If that kind of place is indeed Nirjana Pradesha, then it is only your existence place. There is no point in looking for a spatial, a particular nirjana, a quiet place. There is no quietude in any place, please. And therefore, there is no quiet place. Every place has got noise. Every place has noise. You go to Rishikesh, there is noise. You go to Uttarakhand, there is noise. You go to the moon also, there is already noise. Because there is somebody, it is said, somebody went to the Everest, and there also some Kerala man came, tea, chai, and there was noise already. And therefore, wherever you go, there is always noise. And therefore, the only place where there is no noise is your existence. And therefore, that is Ekanta. And therefore, try to understand your Ekanta Swarupa. Kalanat Sarvabhutana. Kalanat means, counting. Kalana means counting. Kalanat Sarvabhutanam. The truth counts all the Brahmadi Stavarantam, Brahmadi Stambhaparyantam. Every jiva is counted, from the highest jiva to the lowest jiva. Brahmadi Stambhaparyantam means from Brahma, every living being, even plants, they are living beings, living individuals. And even the plants have life. And therefore, just as man has life, just similarly, the plants also have life. And in the human beings may think, but the plants can't think. That is all right. They have Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha. Even it is said that Manomaya Kosha is there. They also think. They also express themselves. And therefore, why do they go? Wherever there is sunlight, it goes there, because it wants to make it wants to do photosynthesis and can create food for itself. And therefore it takes water from below, and the sunlight from above, and then through the sun, and through the nutrition of the air and the earth element, and it attracts some nutrition from the earth element, and and it with photosynthesis. And then if it has leaves, and those leaves are exposed to the sunlight, and they attract, they take some water, they take some water, and they do photosynthesis, and they take some water. That means they also think, please, whatever is good for them, they know. Whatever is good for them, they know. And therefore, they also have some thinking. They may not have the kind of thinking that human beings have, or other living beings have, but the plants also have some rudimentary thinking. Rudimentary thinking means the fundamental thought is may be there, and and we see they are also having Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, and even Manomaya Kosha they may be having G. Vijnanamaya Kosha they may not be having. It doesn't matter. Anandamaya Kosha they may not be having, but then they also want to be happy. They don't want to lose. They also, at the right time, through the seasons, there is autumn, they drop leaves, and they put up shrubs, and all these things, sprouts they put up, they put on sprouts, and they shed leaves. It's according to the season, they do it, everything. And therefore, they also seem to have some kind of rudimentary thinking, please. Even though we say that they're all programmed and all that, but anything that is alive is not programmed. Everything that is alive, everything that is, the rules are programmed, the objects are programmed maybe, but the one who is conscious being, he has to program himself. And therefore the human beings have to program themselves. Even the animals have to program themselves. They may not have the intellect, but they're also considered to be programmed. They program themselves according to the instincts. They have to they instinctively they program themselves. They are programmed. We can say they are programmed by instincts. They're programmed by instincts, impulses, and therefore Kalanath and the truth counts every individual, from Brahmadi to plants. All of them they are counted just as water counts all the waves in no time. In no time, it's not virtual, it's not literal, it is literal, please. Literally in no time they count. That means the time it doesn't is not located in another time. Time is located in timeless, and all that is in time also. We think that it is in time, but nothing is in time. Everything is in the timeless, the truth, and therefore everything is in timeless, the truth, and therefore we think that it is in time. It is in space. It's located in space. When the space is located in the truth, and we think that it is located in the space, we say empirically, but then the space itself is located in the truth. Space is not located in another space, please, and therefore please understand, counting all of them in time and in the timeless. In a moment means in no time. In no time it counts. The truth is counting all that is located in the truth in no time, just like the water counts all the waves in no time. In that manner, the truth also counts. The truth is counts all the individuals in no time means the truth alone is the truth of all individuals, and therefore Brahman is the truth of all individuals. Iti kala Brahmadinam nimeshuta. Nimeshuta means in a minute, in no time. Nimeshuta means in no time. In no time, the truth counts all the individuals. Brahmadi Sambhaparyantanam, it counts. Brahmadini counts. From Brahma to ordinary Jiva, it counts all of them, because that happens to be the truth. To be the truth of all of them is what is called counting all of them. The water is the truth of all the waves and the bubbles, and that is what is called counting. And therefore, it is called counting, but Kal Shabdana, and it looks as though it is in time, because there is memory, and therefore, because of the memory, because I remember them, and therefore it is called in time. And I always feel the consciousness is not in time. Consciousness is timeless. Consciousness is timeless, and therefore, here it is said, Kala Shabdena Nirdishtaha, Akhandanandaha Advayaha. It is that particular timeless is indicated by the word Kala, by the Kala Shabdaha. Kala Shabdena Nirdishtaha. It is pointed out by Kala. Brahma Akhandadvayaha, Akhandaha, Advayaha, Akhandadvayaha, Anandaha. And it is Akhandaha, and it is non-dual, and it is indivisible, and it is non-dual, and it is peaceful. And therefore that peace is called the Kalaha. That peace is the truth of everything, because the creation is noise, and that the noise is present, is located in the peace only. It comes out of the noise, comes out of the peace. In just as the waves are stem from the placid waters of the sea, in the same manner, the noise comes from the placidity of the being, the serenity of the being. From the serenity of the being, any noise is created out of silence, please. Then the noise comes out of silence, and it stays in silence, because I am able to hear the noise only from the point of view of myself, the silence, and it goes back into silence. And therefore, it is Akhandadvaya, and it is something that is Anandaha. By Anandaha means should be taken here as peace, peaceful, that which is in peace. Advayaha, Akhanda Anandaha, Advayaha. It is Akhanda Anandaha, it is indivisible peace, and it is Akhandaha. Advayaha, it is non-dual. It is non-dual. Akhanda Anandaha, Advayaha. It is this particular truth of everything is indicated by the word Kala, and therefore that is why it is called Kalanath Kalaha. Kalanath Kalaha means because it can count everything. It is the truth of everything, and therefore The timeless itself appears as the time bound, the time. The timeless itself appears as time, please. The time has no beginning, has no end. You can't trace your existence, the individuality, to any time, nor can you trace your existence, your peaceful existence, to time. Your nice existence cannot be traced to time, and your peaceful existence also cannot be traced to time, and therefore it is timeless. Both of them are timeless. Even the error is timeless, the fact also is is also timeless. The error that I am that I am the body, this thought that I am the body, is also timeless, because you can't trace that thought to any time, and therefore presupposing this thought alone is you perceive the time, and therefore the time itself presupposes this thought. This thought is in time, is not in time. This idea that I am the body is not in time, and therefore it is adhyasa, is anadi ananta naisargikoyam loka vyavahara. I am this body, this is mine, this is me, this is mine, this is all called adhyasa, and that adhyasa is something anadi ananta. It has no beginning and it has no end. If it is a beginning and an end, then it has to be traced to time. It begins in time and it ends in time, but it doesn't begin in time and end in time. It doesn't begin in time. It ends along with the time, please. It doesn't end in time. It ends along with the time. Just as when you go to sleep, the time ends. You also end. The individuality ends along with time. The individuality ends along with the time. The thought that I am the body ends along with the embodiment, along with the time, and therefore along with the time and along with the universe. And therefore the universe also is within the thought that I am the body. I see the universe only presupposing the thought that I am the body. That I am the body is the adhyasa. And presupposing this adhyasa is the perception of the universe, is the perception of everything, is the perception of the body itself, the perception of the embodiment, the perception of samsara, everything is there, presupposing the embodiment. And therefore, that the truth of that adhyasa is what is called kala. The timeless itself appears as the time. Just as the rope appears as the snake, in the same manner, the timeless itself appears as time. Time is not time. It appears as the time bound as well as time. कलनात् सर्वभावानां ब्रह्मादीनां निमेषतः कालशब्देन निर्दिष्टः अखंड आनंदः अद्वयः. The indivisible ananda, the indivisible non-dual being itself is pointed out by the Shastra as Kalaha, because what the Kala is not something that is parallel to the timeless place. It is seen in the timeless. It is perceived in the timeless. The memory is in the timeless. The truth is the ashraya of the memory, the ashraya of the every vritti, the ashraya of everybody's vrittis, and therefore that kala shabdena nirdishta akhanda anandaha advayaha, and therefore that is called time. And therefore, which is the best time? The best time is yourself. Therefore, you don't have to worry. The morning is better, evening is better, afternoon is better. You don't say that like that. You need not think which time is best, is the most auspicious. I say thinking about understanding your being, it doesn't have, it's not time bound. Every time is good time, and therefore for vichara there is no good time. There is no muhurta for vichara. Just as in order to love a person, there is no auspicious time. But then in order to, supposing you want to love your daughter, your love for your son, at what time does it become manifest, please? During the whole waking hours, any time you feel like, you can call him and hug him. What is there? The love for the son is manifest at any time, and then in the same manner, the love for vichara, it can manifest any time. You can do vichara at any time. Therefore, maybe the karma kanda requires muhurtas. If it is a ritual, then the muhurta has to be looked for. But for vichara, there is no muhurta, please. There is no auspicious time. Every time is auspicious, and therefore And that is what you have to understand. These are all superstitions to think that I have to find out a muhurta for thinking, for remembering Bhagavan, etc. This is all not true. But if you have any karma, if you have any ambition, then sankalpa, then maybe you can look for a muhurta. But if you don't, if you are only praying for the mental purity, then you don't have to look for any muhurta. If you are there is no sankalpa. If there is that sankalpa is a Bhagavan, purify my mind. If your sankalpa is for the purification of the mind, then you don't require any muhurta. But if your sankalpa is for any material thing, then maybe muhurta maybe has to be looked for. You may have to look for a muhurta, an auspicious muhurta, if you have sankalpa for any material thing. And in this manner, for vichara there is no time. The time is yourself. It is the timeless you that appears as time, place. And therefore, you see the time because you are in avidya. And due to avidya, the timeless itself appears as the time bound. And time bound as well as time. This is over. Sukhena eva bhavet jasmin ajasram brahmachintanam. Sukhena eva, comfortably. Sukhena means comfortably. Sukhena eva ajasram bhavet. Bhavet means bhavet हो सकता है. Yasmin, in whom, ajasram, always, brahmachintanam. A person in whom always there is always brahmachintanam, the reflection upon the being, that discerning between Atma and Anatma. Brahmachintanam, that is called asanam. Tad vijaniyat. May you understand that Brahmachintanam is what is called asanam. Brahmachintanam is called asanam. And you say, according to Raja Yoga, asana means physical asana. But according to Vedanta, asana means Brahmachintanam is called asanam. Asanam tad vijaniyat. May you understand that. Netat sukhanashanam. And if you have the asana, uncomfortable asana, physical asana, if it is uncomfortable for a long time, then it is not asana. Understanding yourself is sukham. Sukhena, you can do brahmachintanam sukhena, comfortably. And that comfortable thinking about yourself as Brahman is what is called asanam. And that asanam, and not the other asanam. If you do the physical asanam, that only gives you dukkham. And therefore, dukkha, it is sukhanashanam. It is only, it makes you uncomfortable. And therefore, thinking about the truth makes you comfortable. In fact, the only comfort is your nature is comfort, and therefore dukkham is from alien, whereas sukham is innate. It is your nature, and dukkham has to be removed. And removing the dukkham is what is called understanding the sukham. Please, removing the dukkham means when you understand that you are by nature sukham, the dukkham also goes on its own. And therefore, just as when you wake up from the dream becomes disproved. You automatically it is understood when you wake up from the dream. The dream becomes disproved. The dream becomes falsified. In the same manner here, when you understand that you are Sukha Swarupam, the dukkha is disproved. In the same manner, here also, that is what is called asanam. Bhavet jasmin ajasram brahmachintanam asanam tadvijaniyat netrat sukhanashanam. That in which composure you can always think of asanam. You can always think of brahmachintanam, always ajasram brahmachintanam. If you can do brahmachintanam always, in which composure? That composure is called asanam. And therefore, unless you have the composure, you cannot reflect upon the Brahman. And therefore, that composure is called brahmachintanam. That composure is what is called asanam. Because in that asanam, the composure, you do brahmachintanam. Therefore, in that composure is called asanam. And that thinking about yourself is called asanam. And therefore, the asanam in the composure in which you can think of Brahman, that is called asanam. That is called asanam. And therefore, the other asanam, if you do physical asanam can only make you uncomfortable. And therefore here it is said, Sukhena eva bhavet jasmin ajasram brahmajantanam asanam tadvijaniyat netrat sukhanashanam. Not any other asanam, please. That is sukhanashanam. Siddham yat sarvabhutadi. Siddham, what is present, what is self-existent. Siddham means self-existent here. Swata siddham iti. The truth is swata siddham. The truth is swata siddham. Swataha siddham means that is everybody understands. Just as you don't see your existence through the eyes, through the senses, please. It is not a sense object. The one who sees through the senses, you are the subject of the senses. You are not an object of the senses. You are the seer, not the seen. You are the hearer, not the heard. You are the thinker, not the thought of. You are the rememberer, not the remembered. You are the knower, not the known. You are the thinker, not the thought. And therefore, in this manner, you are a conscious being, not the inert matter. In this manner, and therefore, because your existence is not evident through the senses, and therefore it is swataha siddham. It is not pramana vishayam, it is not pramana siddham, it is swataha siddham. Swatah siddham, siddham yatu sarvabhutadi. And it is the source of sarvabhutadi means it is the source of all the elements. Sarvabhutadi. It is the source of all the elements. It is the source of every physical form. It is the source of every thought. It is the source of every emotion, every thought, every faculty. Sarvabhutadi. Vishwa adhishtanam avyayam. Vishwa adhishtanam. It is adhishtanam of the entire Jagat. Adhishtanam means it's the source of the Jagat without qualifying the source. That is what is called Vishwa Adhishtanam. Then it becomes Adhishtanam. Just as Rajju is Adhishtanam of the Sarpa. Adhishtanam means the Sarpa is imposed upon the Rajju, but it doesn't qualify the Rajju. And therefore there is no, Rajju doesn't accept. From the Rajju point of view, there is no Sarpa. From my perception point of view, I perceive the Sarpa. It is, I have to perceive the Sarpa. Unless otherwise there is no Sarpa there. And therefore, Rajata Sarpa iti pratiyate, nasatra sarposti. There is no Sarpa there. In that manner, here, that is what is called Vishwasya Adhishtanam. Vishwaka Adhishtanam means the Adhishtanam, the source of the entire Vishwa, the Jagat, but it is not something. It is not something that is qualified by what is imposed on them. So Vishwasya Adhishtanam, Vishwa Avyayam. Avyayam means it is changeless also. It is Adhishtanam. It is, that is the changelessness. What is the changelessness about the Vishwadhishtanam? The changelessness about this source is that it doesn't change, even though it is taught as the source. Otherwise, it alone is. There is nothing. It is neither a source nor the creation. It is free from the source-creation relationship because the creation is non-separate from the source, and therefore, if it is a non-separate from the source, then it is not something. The source, it is not something from this. It's not something called source. It is free from the source creation relationship, and therefore it is not. It is avyayam. Neither it changes, even though it is taught as the source for the Maya Srishti. Maya Srishti is false creation, but it is not something, and it also is not also qualified by the creation. The creation is not it doesn't qualify the source, and therefore it is avyayam, and therefore it is changeless. Avyayam means changeless. Navyeti. Yasmin siddhaha samavishtaha. Every siddha purusha, every jnani is synonymous with that truth. He is the same truth. Every siddha purusha is the truth, please, and therefore you don't have to think that the Siddha Purushas are something parallel to the truth or the truth is parallel to them. No, Siddha Purushas, their being is the truth. The Siddha Purusha means a jnani. Even though we call it as Siddha Purusha, but that is a big name, but it simply use the word jnani. A person who understands, he is called a jnani. A jnani is not parallel to the truth. A jnani is jnanam. A jnanam is about the truth. He is the truth, and therefore he is Brahman, and therefore it is not. There is nothing. He is not parallel to the truth. He is the truth, please. Similarly, you are not parallel to consciousness, you are consciousness. You are not parallel to Anandam, you are not parallel to Anandam, you are Anandam. You are not parallel to silence, you are silence. And in the same manner, you are not parallel to changelessness, you are changeless. And therefore, in the same manner, here also, and it is not sarve siddhaha samavishtaha. All these are siddha purushas, all the jnanis are synonymous with the truth. Their being is synonymous with the truth. Call it a jnani or call it the truth. It means the same thing, because the truth is something even before it existed, even before he understood. That is existence. When a person, even before you come to Vedanta, you are already there. That is the nature of your being. That means you are eternal, please. It is not that that the self is there only when you come to Vedanta. The self is there even before you come to Vedanta. You are there even before you come to Vedanta. And that is understood. What was there, what has been there, in the waking state, in the dream state, in the deep sleep state, when there is no waking, when there is no dream also, you are there. You are the experience, there is experience pertaining to the deep sleep state from the waking point of view. And therefore, you experience the absence of, you say, Nakinchida Vedisham, I did not see, there was nothing parallel to me. There was nothing parallel to me means that it's not a belief, it is an anubhava, it is an experience, and therefore, you don't have to entertain a thought about it. It's not an, it is, you don't, experience does not depend upon a thought. Experience is something that is independent of thought, please. And thought is different from anubhava. Anubhava is when you go to the deep sleep state, all the senses are closed. And that itself you remember, and that is not your belief, that is not your belief, and that is your anubhava, that is your experience. And therefore, deep sleep state is your experience, and therefore, and that deep sleep state is indeed the makes you Siddha Purushaha. That is the Swarupa, Samavishtaha. Tadvai Siddhasanam Viduhu. That is called Siddhasanam. Siddhasanam doesn't mean Swata Siddhatvam is what is understanding that you are Swata Siddham is called Siddhasanam. Even though it is said that Siddhasanam is very good, but understanding that you are indeed Swata Siddham, that the Atma is Swata Siddham, you are not Pramana Siddham. This has to be understood, please. Your existence is Swata Siddham. Understanding that you are indeed Swata Siddham is called Siddhasanam. And Vishwasadhishtanam. And you are also the Vishwasadhishtanam. Vishwasadhishtanam means the source of the universe. And the source of the universe is a very, very, very Gambhiram ji. Very Gambhiram. Gambhiram means Ati Gambhiram. Ati Gambhiram. Ati Gambhiram means people say, how can I be the source of the universe? I say, as awareness, you are the source of the universe. As the source of the body, you cannot be locked up in the body. The body is in you. Like the water is not in the wave is in water. The wave is kalpitam. Waveness is kalpitam. Waterness is a fact. Waveness is kalpitam. It is adjustam. Just as sarpa is kalpitam, rajju is a fact. And therefore, between the vastu and avastu, this is the difference, please. And therefore, in the same manner, here also, it is something that is, you are not something. Siddhasana means understanding that you are indeed Swata Siddham, that you are the fact. And you are not an error. You are not, you are the fact, please. That is called Swata Siddham. Understanding that you are Swata Siddham is called Siddhasanam. Understanding you are the Swata Siddham, understanding that you are the Vishwadhishtanam is what is called changelessness. And therefore you are the Adhishtanam. Adhishtanam means the Adjasta doesn't qualify the Adhishtanam. And therefore wherever there is Adhyasa, then we have to say that the source is what is called, the fact is what is called Adhishtanam, the error is called Adhyasta. In this manner there is Adhisthana Adhyasta Bhava. The Adhisthana Adhyasta Bhava means it is Satya Mithya Bhava. Adhishtanam is the Satyam and Adhyasta is the Mithya. Satya Mithya Bhava. But when the Mithya is understood as not separate from the Satyam, it is Satyam alone is there. Mithya is Satyam. Satyam, of course, is Satyam. The wave is water. The water is also water. Water alone is the truth. And therefore, in that manner, pot is clay, and the clay is also clay. Pot is clay, and the clay is also clay. And therefore, clay alone is there. Pot is clay, and the clay alone is there. And the pot, when the pot is there, clay is there. When pot is not there, also clay is there. In the same manner, when the wave is there, water is there. When the wave is not, also water is there. Similarly, when the states are there, you are there. When the scene is there, you are there. The seer is there. When the scene is not there, also the seer is there as absolute. Please, and this has to be understood properly. Yasmin siddhaha samavishtaha tadvai siddhasanam viduhu. If you can understand that you are Swata Siddha, in whichever composure you understand, in the composure in which you understand, understanding that you are Swata Siddham is what is called Siddhasanam. The composure in which you understand that you are the Sutta, you are indeed self-existent, that is called Siddhasanam. Next is called Moola Bandhanam. Yan Moolam Sarvabhutanam, that which is the source of all the Sarvabhutanam, all the elements, that which is the source of Yan Moolam. And Moola means what is the source of all the elements. And Sarvabhutanam, Yan Moolam Chitta Bandhanam, and that which is the source of the Chitta, the thought also, Chitta Bandhanam. And if the thought has to become quiet, then you have to know which self, the source has to be understood. You don't have to beat the thoughts down to become quiet. You don't have to control them. You understand the source of them. The discern between consciousness and the thought. Thought is made of consciousness. Thought is made of you, and therefore thought is you, and you are yourself. And the thought is, and therefore you alone are there, Advaitam, the non-dual. And therefore, when the pot is there as a clay, a person who understands the clay, pot can be used, but it is nothing but clay. In the same manner, an ornament, just because you make a gold into an ornament, you don't start, the gold has disappeared, and you don't have to start crying for that, because gold is there as the truth of the ornament. This you understand. When it comes to the gold, you are wise, please. But the same manner here also, for the universe, the universe is nothing but is made of the Bhagavan. The universe is nothing but it is made of Bhagavan. And therefore, we don't say the universe is not there. We say the universe is made of Bhagavan. And therefore, it is Bhagavan. And therefore, with the idea that it is Bhagavan, then you do Karma Yoga, then you perform all your duties, and that will give you mental composure. And in that composure, you understand that you are Sata Siddham, you are self existent being. And therefore, and Chitta Bandhanam, and therefore, the chitta, for the thought to abide, for the thought to be peaceful, if you have to be free from tensions, then you have to understand the thought to be yourself, please. This is very important. The thought has to be understood as made of consciousness, and that consciousness is yourself. You are not a mixture of consciousness and body. You are solely consciousness, and therefore body is only upadhi, and therefore body is only being upadhi. It doesn't affect the consciousness. Your being consciousness is not affected by the body. It's not, it doesn't, you don't cease to be the consciousness. You don't become something else. Just because you make the clay out of you make a pot out of clay, it doesn't affect that potness, doesn't affect the clayness. And therefore pot, despite the making the pot, the clay remains the clay. Yet despite making an ornament, the gold remains gold. In the same manner, it doesn't become spoiled. Goldness remains the same. In the same manner, here also Bhagavan becomes the material for the universe, and the universe doesn't qualify the Bhagavan. It doesn't qualify. It is creation. It is a kalpitam. It is kalpitam. And what is kalpitam is Vastu, Bhagavan. And what is Bhagavan also is Bhagavan. And therefore Bhagavan alone is there. There is nothing other than Bhagavan. Bhagavan alone is there. That is called, it is Advaitam. Bhagavan is there, and that is Advaitam, that is non-dual. And therefore here it is said, Yanmoolam Sarvabhutanam, Yanmoolam Chitta Bandhanam. And therefore, if you have to control the thought, the will gets tired. Whenever you control the thought, the will gets tired. When the will is tired, you are tired. When the will is tired, the jiva gets tired. because how long can you control the thought, please? And therefore here, and moolam, that which is the source of all the individual objects, sarva bhutanam, all the elements, and that which is the source of the thought also, that which is the source of the ashraya of the thoughts. The ashraya of the thought is something different from the one who is identified with the body. The ashraya becomes identified with the body. When the ashraya is identified with the thought, then it becomes a jiva. The same ashraya becomes a jiva, and therefore ashraya becomes ashrayatvam. Ashrayatvam is something that is unqualified by the thought, whereas jiva thinks that the thought is my nature, my adjective. I am the noun, and the thoughts are my adjectives. In this manner, he thinks. The jiva is a sansari. Jiva always he thinks that the thoughts qualify him. When the jiva thinks that the thoughts qualify him, he is only a jiva. He is not ashraya, please. Ashraya means the truth. His swarupa is ashraya. His by nature he is ashraya. He is not identified with the thought, and therefore as an ashraya, he is ashraya. And the ashrita is the thought, and that thought also is nothing but the ashraya. It is made of ashraya. The source is, the creation is made of the source, and therefore the creation is the source, because it's the material, and the source is also the source, and therefore there is no parallel to the source, and therefore it is free from the source creation relationship also. Ashraya ashrita bhava also it is free from, and therefore when it is free from ashraya ashrita bhava, then it is non-dual. And therefore that moola bandha sada sevya, this is called moola bandha, understanding that you are indeed the source of everything, and you are indeed the source of the thought. You are not the thought. You are not the thinker and thought relationship. You are not the thinker of the thought. Thinkerness also has ashraya. You are the ashraya of the thinkerness. You are the ashraya of the thought. You are not. You are not something. You are not qualified by the thought, and therefore you are ashraya of the thought. You are not identified with the thought. You are not identified. You don't have to think that you are the thought. You are not the thought. You are the ashraya of the thought. You are not the thought. You are the ashraya of the thought. The ashraya of the thought is not qualified by the thought, and therefore whereas the jiva is qualified by the thought, jiva thinks that I am qualified by the thought. But the jiva is different from ashraya, and therefore the jiva is taught by the shruti that if you think in this manner, that is you are not the thought, you are not the body, you are the ashraya of the body, you are the ashraya of the thought. And sada sevya, and this is what is called moola bandha. Moola bandha means, the moola bandha is a kind of asana in Raja Yoga, moola bandha. But this moola bandha is also has to be this kind of moola bandha in the what is explained in the light of Vedanta, that has to be served, that has to be experienced, that has to be done, that has to be practiced, that has to be thought of. The truth has to be thought of again and again. Sada sevya. Sada sevya means it has to be always practiced, means it has to be always thought. Practice becomes an action. An action can be practiced. An action can be done again and again. But a fact cannot be done again and again. A fact has to be understood again and again. It can be discerned again and again. Between the thought, between the consciousness and the body, has to be discerned again and again. Has to be thought again and again. Repeated thinking is what is called the practice here. It is not repeated reflection that is called practice. It is not practice. It is not an action. Repeated reflection is reflection only. It is not an action. And therefore, yoga so Rajayoginam. This is considered to be Rajayogin ke liye this is yoga. Yoga has, so they think that it is a yoga. Yoga means it is something that is an action. That is what for Raja Yogis it is an action, but for Vedantis it is vichara. And therefore, what is vichara? That I am indeed the source of the elements, and I am the source of my thoughts, and that source is me. I am not the thoughts. I am the source of the thoughts. I am not the deha. I am the source of the body. In this manner, you are not locked up in the body. The body is present in consciousness, please. Because you are not in the state. The state is in you. You are not inside the waking state. The waking state is in you. The dream state is in you. The deep sleep state is in you. Not if you think that there is an absence, thought of absence in all the things, thought of absence of the waking and the dream, from the waking point of view, that thought is also is in the Atma, and therefore all the three states are in you. The avastha is in you. You are not in avastha, but avastha is in you. This has to be understood, and therefore, for the Raj Yogis, it is a yoga, it is a karma, it is a karma to be done. But for Vedantis, it is something, some vichara has to be done. Vichara is, even though we use the word done, to be done, vichara to be done, but vichara is not a karma, because you are not creating a fact, you are not purifying a fact, you are only understanding the fact, you are not reaching the fact, you are only understanding the fact. Understanding is not karma, please. All other things are karma, and therefore you have to understand the difference between karma and vichara. Karma is done, vichara is, even though we use the word vichara is done, but it's not a karma, because you don't create a fact, you don't purify a fact, you don't modify a fact, you don't reach a fact, you only understand a fact. Understanding is called vichara, please. Understanding a fact is called vichara. The entire science is called understanding a fact, and that is, you go to school to understand the facts, and that understanding is what is called vichara. Whereas under this doing actions, the rituals are always done, the empirical actions are done, the cultivation is done, every ritual, every action, every job is done. Please understand, anything that is that involves mobility is an action, whereas in a reflection, the stillness is understood, like this, understanding the space. The space is something there is nothing parallel to space. In order to be parallel to space, it has to be outside space. If it is inside space, then the space alone is the material for all the objects. There is space in and through the fire, there is space in and through the air, there is space in and through the water, there is space in and through the earth element, and therefore all the what we call the four elements are nothing but space, the emptiness alone. There is nothing but emptiness. The space alone is there, and that is why we say the objects are only kings in space. Kings in space are called the objects, and those objects are called the creation here. But the more of it we will see in the next class. What is the action? You must distinguish between the action and vichara. In vichara, you don't create a fact, you don't purify a fact, you don't modify a fact, you don't reach a fact, you only understand a fact. Whereas an action, you only create an action. If you have to reach there, when you reach a village, that is called karma. When you purify a thing, when you purify your mind also, that is also karma. That's why it's called karma yoga. There is attitude also involved. So you purify a mind, you modify. Modification also is karma. Purification is karma. Reaching is karma, and creation is karma. When you create something, that is karma. Whereas here you don't create the rope, you don't modify the rope, you don't purify the rope, you don't reach the rope. You have already reached it. You understand it is already within your experience. You have to recognize it, that this is not snake, this is rope. In this manner, I have to understand that I am not the Deha, I am other than Deha. I am not in time, I am timeless. In this manner, it needs to be understood. And therefore, that is called Vedanta. And the more of it we will see in the next class. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And everything after some time we will go to Ramana Kendra. Thank you very much. And